Hi, YouTube fans. This is Matt, a post-April 6 YouTube channel. Yeah, you know where I am right now? I am at East 12th Avenue between Downing and Corona. This is an area that is fairly high traffic and it's well known. Look at that. That is right across the street. There's nice Christmas decorations on the fencing of what looks to me like small townhomes. You see down there, that apartment building, or maybe condos, it has Christmas decorations. It's that one way up there on the top. Well, I am waiting for an RTD bus to get me over to one of my favorite spots. Yep, Congress Park. Because the area that I'm in right now is most likely Capitol Hill. If it's not Capitol Hill, it's quite close to it. Yep. And the other thing that was good about today, not only was it a day off, but I talked to Colorado Medical Assistance Program for working adults with disabilities, so I can get reestablished with them, because me being established with them went inactive, but it got reactivated today. Yep. And I got a really good tangle-tongued. I got a really good letter from the Social Security Administration, too, to reassure me that benefits are going to continue. And I had a good discussion with the owner of Edwards Tobacco Shop, and while I was there, I bought one of these. Yep, Raspberry Creek. Good pipe tobacco. Yeah, even though there's nothing but a telephone pole right behind me, I still like it. I still like the background. I still like the looks of it. I don't know why, I just do. And see that over there? I believe that may be part of CenturyLink. That building right over there. Yes. If it's not CenturyLink, it's something important. I know that. It's a commercial building, and I don't think it's a school or a higher education like college or trade school. Hold on. There, that's what I was trying to get to. Oh, sorry for the camera malfunction. I think that's a nice street lamp. Let's get a close-up of it. Yeah, even though it's a bit dark, you can tell this pole's an old one. It's probably 60, 70 years old. It's been here for quite some time, I bet you. Well, I'm still standing here patiently waiting for the bus. And the other thing that I'm thinking seriously about doing, even though I can't do any filming in there because I'll probably be prevented from doing so, is go to Liks, L-I-K-S, ice cream shop. Because what they got inside Liks always tastes really, really good. It's really good ice cream. It's worth the money. Well, that's about it for now. So please, just stay tuned. I think it's going to get more interesting. But what's going to happen next? There's so many ideas I have in my mind. I just don't know for sure yet what's going to happen next. But Again, please stay tuned. Thank you. Well, I just finished eating a nice full-size waffle cone with 1 scoop of butterscotch ice cream, and boy, was it delicious. Yeah, I'm on 13th Avenue, or East 13th Avenue, and Vine Street. I'm real close to where my dad used to live, about almost 60 years. It was right about there. I believe it was that, it wasn't this house, it was the third one. It was that one over there. Yeah. Yeah, he only lived there from October of 1965, and by February or March of 1967, he moved to Los Angeles. He had that young itchy feet sensation. He wanted to live in a different part of the United States. He heard a lot of good things about LA, and he knew he could get a job as a diesel mechanic, and he knew that there was probably plenty of jobs out there for diesel mechanics in Los Angeles back then. I bet there's a lot now, but you got stricter standards to live by, and the pay of what they're going to pay somebody may not cut it. I mean, God, even if you're earning like $35 an hour in LA, you better have a good cheap apartment, or life's going to be hell. Let's see, I'm almost on Gaylord, and I'm heading towards where, sorry, I had to look. Whoa, better move it. I saw a car coming, I had to run. And I'm going towards where I used to live over 20 years ago. Yeah. 13th and Columbine. There. I put the pop sucker between my fingers to try to minimize the shakiness. Yep, now we're near York Street, 13th. In fact, I'll give a nice, or do a nice panoramic view of this area. There's a lot of neat old part houses and buildings to look at. See? Over there. Over there. Right over there. Oh, here, let me do it that way. And that traffic system metal pole was in the way. Traffic system and street lights. Well, can't cross the street yet. Yeah, you don't cross the street when it's a green light, because there's a hell of a lot of traffic, and some of these people that are in this area, they really like to drive fast. And they drive fast and they hit me. Like I've said before, and I'll say this again anyways. Okay, I gotta cross the street. In case, I'll say this again anyways, in case people are watching this for the first time, April 6, 2011 was the day I got hit by a car and I nearly lost my life. I was hospitalized for 11 weeks. Not only did I have a parietal skull fracture, I was suffering from subdural hematoma, and the brain trauma caused my brain to swell up bad. A neurosurgeon drilled a hole in the back of my head. And then within 24 to 48 hours, even though I was being very closely monitored all the time, I had a cerebral brain hemorrhage. And they were in my room within seconds doing medical procedures to get me ready for extensive brain surgery by a highly skilled neurologist or neurosurgeon. Okay, we're quite close to where I used to live. There it is. There's the third floor. There's a unit on the third floor on the end of 1303 Columbine Street. Here's the building. Here it is. Yeah. Right in there. I used to live there, right in that unit, 103. Those must be storage units for this apartment building. It's on 13th and Elizabeth. Ain't that a neat looking building? Huh, that must be that right there. Must be a little studio apartment or something. This is on East 13th in Detroit. Look at that, that's the Avon building. What a classy looking building. Looks more like it's in New York City or Los Angeles than here. But hey, I like it all the same. Look at these duplexes. Actually, I think this is more like a fourplex. Yeah, the traffic on this, on East 13th going west, because it's a one-way street that only goes westbound instead of east and west, or east only. It's 20 till 9 o'clock, and when it's like this, it's quite a lot. But that's because there's so much to do in Denver. A lot of people are out and about tonight. Okay. I'm crossing into the dark zone. Oh, God. Yeah. Well, I'd like to talk some more, but I think I'll have to stop for now, so please stay tuned. There's gonna be more. Well, it's April 6th. It's April 6th, 2026. Yep. 15 years ago today, as of 11:30. Oh gosh. Okay. A little after 11:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. 15 years ago today, I was in a hospital, and actually I wasn't in an intensive care room quite yet. I was in an emergency room because my head was bashed in bad. I mean, both my ears were stuffed up like this with gauze bandage, and there was a bunch of little. There's a few scars up here, and there's a bunch of little cuts on my face. Yeah. Do I have any photographic evidence of how I looked at that time? Nope. Will I ever see it? Nope. But April 6, 2011 is not what this is about. It's about April 6, 2026. So, why don't I go ahead and discuss how things went today. I slept in, I believe, until roughly 9:30 at first. I got up, I used the bathroom, and I fed my kitty Isabella. And then what I did was I went back to sleep, even though it took me a little bit. And I awoke around, I woke up briefly at 11:30, and I looked at the clock, and then I just went back to sleep, like instantly, went back to sleep. And then I slept some more until about 12:20, 12:25, somewhere in that approximate time, exact time frame. And I woke up out of bed a little bit after that. And what I did was I went into the kitchen, and I washed my dishes through and through, made myself a cup of coffee while I was doing the dishwashing. I often do that. And then I proceeded to cook my 3-3-H breakfast, which, and I'm going to say this again because a lot of you who are avid YouTube subscribers and followers know what I'm talking about, but I'll say this anyways for the people who are watching me for the very first time. The 3-3-H consists of 3 strips of bacon, 3 scrambled eggs, and some hash browns. It's a good 3-course meal. And then I came in here into the living room area of the 1-room studio apartment, and I proceeded to eat my breakfast. And then what I did was I watched a little bit of YouTube. And then what I did was I went into the bathroom, and after I relieved myself, I got showered and shaved and dressed. And then I did a couple more little things. And then around, let's see, I think it was about somewhere between 2:02 and 2:05, I proceeded to go through the app and get a Uber ride set up to come pick me up. And then after I got fully dressed and grabbed all my stuff, I went out and got into the car right when the Uber, or excuse me, no, it wasn't Uber, it was Lyft, when the Lyft driver showed up. And then I got to work, and today was a short shift compared to the days that I've mentioned before in text only, instead of me, physically, verbally saying this. And what I did was I spoke with the front end supervisor I was supposed to speak with about what register she wanted me to work at. And she said register 10, and I said okay. Or she said it this way. She says 9 or 10, name your pick your poison. She said she's a neat lady. She likes to talk like that. I mean, that's her way of showing you that she really likes you. And I chose register 10, and I rang up person after person after person after person after person after person, on and on and on. And then a little after 5 p.m., it was somewhere between 5:02 and 5:05, approximately, I was relieved for a 15-minute break. So then what I did was I went over to where the chicken was, the deli chicken that's fresh, and they had no chicken strips. So then I walked over that direction, what would have been to my left, over into the meat department and the frozen foods, or refrigerated foods. Actually, it would be frozen foods. Okay, never mind. And I picked out the ranch grilled chicken strips with the Green Valley Ranch dip. I mean, those are really delicious. Even though they're not cooked and they're cold, it's really good stuff. I mean, it's yum, yum, yum all the way. And I also chose on a nice Heath English toffee candy bar. And I bought some bottled water. And I paid for it, and then I rush upstairs to where the break room is. And I ate that up, and as soon as I was done, I make sure to get right downstairs and relieve the manager that relieved me, or jump into the register and let the manager who relieved me go back to doing her management work that she has to do. And I stayed there until 8 p.m. And then what I did was at 8 p.m. I clocked out, and I did some shopping around for some groceries that I needed. So once the grocery shopping was completed and I paid for it, I proceeded to get a Lyft ride. Now, what I should have done was I should have done that a little bit earlier, so I wouldn't have to wait at work as long. But, hey, that happens. I had to wait 12 minutes for the Uber driver to come and get me. And then did I say Uber again? I meant Lyft. Sorry about that. Once the Lyft driver showed up and came and got me, I got a ride back to my apartment. And then what I did was I immediately go over to the oven that's 375 degrees, and I warmed it up. And then the other thing that I did right after that, because, I didn't work really hard, but my feet were a little bit tired. I needed a rest. I went over to the smart TV, and I got set up. And after I got the hotspot signal going to the TV, I then proceeded to watch something that I only watched like a minute or two of. And what it was Junkyard Diggs. And Kevin and his other mechanic friend, who's, I guess, a colleague, or and a faithful, knowledgeable sidekick named Angus. First steam cleaned a Jeep, and the Jeep ran, but it had some problems. The timing was a little bit off, and it was making some funny noises, the engine was. So then he got it, after they steam cleaned it and they dried it off, they got it back into the shop, and he used a special device where he can look right inside the engine after it removes the spark plugs. Oh boy. One engine, it looked like part of the piston had somehow disappeared or broke off. Yeah. It was strange. I mean, the rest of the piston looked really good, but this one little spot on the side where the top ends and the up and down circular column ends it looked like it was chopped. It looked like it was either chopped off or it broke off. So then what they did was the two of them talked it over, and they proceeded to take the engine apart, and then what they did was Kevin did some extensive research through some junk dealers to see if he can get this engine, and he really couldn't. And the one person that could provide it for him wanted to charge him an arm and a leg for it. Like, no, I really shouldn't say this. I'll tell you this much. It was about $200-300 more than $1,500 for a used engine. It wasn't a new one that was rebuilt or a brand spanking new one. It was, $1,900. He wasn't going to pay that. I mean, he had the money, but still, that was too much of a headache. So he talked it over with the machine shop that was nearby in his part of Iowa, and they got it. They did the cylinder holes and the other machine shop stuff that you're supposed to do to an engine that needs to be done so that it is fully rebuilt and that the engine will run really good. And they got a new piston, and they put new rings on the other pistons that were good, and they put new bearings on the crankshaft. Those half moon shaped ones that are called, they're actually bearings instead of C-clamps. And I watched everything through and through. Now, meanwhile, while I'm watching this, here's something interesting that was going on with me, personally. After the oven warmed up at 375 degrees, I put in the second half of the baked ziti that I didn't, that was left over from the night before, meaning last night. And I put it on the timer for 11 minutes. Then I took it out, and I felt all the way around it. It didn't, in a way it felt warm, but in other ways, in other parts, it felt like it wasn't quite warmed up good enough yet. So then what I did was I put it in there for 3 minutes, and instead on the bottom thing, I put it way up at the top. And that did some good, but I could still feel parts that weren't quite cooked well enough. I turned up the temperature, because my oven's digital. It's not one of those old dial ones. I turned up the heat to 395 degrees, and I put it in there for 4 minutes. That did it. And I let it sit for like 3 minutes before I bit into it, because otherwise I was worried I was really going to burn the roof of my mouth or my tongue and have that blister. Ooh, I hate it when that happens. That really bugs me until it's had several hours to kind of get healed. Then what I did was I scooped it out with a spatula and I put it on the plate and I ate the whole thing. After about 3 or 4 bites, there was one area that wasn't quite cooked well enough. So then what I did, I know this sounds kind of frivolous, but I had to do it. I go over to the microwave and I pop it in there and I stand there and I keep looking at the microwave, you know, seeing it cooking, because it's lit up in there and I can see how well it's heating up. And I put it in there for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and I'm watching. I hear this pow, 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 pow. You know, those little popping noises when food's heating up in a microwave. And then when it got to about roughly 40 seconds away from being done, I stopped the microwave and I opened the door and I feel it carefully. I'm like, oh, ow. Yeah, it was done then. So then I've run I turn on the faucet and I run this, I think it was this finger. In fact, you might be able to see a blister. Yeah. And I let it get good and cooled off. And then I take it over into the living room and I let it cool off for at least a couple of minutes. And I start carefully eating away at it. And boy, did I get filled up, and I needed it too. Then after that, a little bit after that, after I got done watching the hour and 29-minute thing on Junkyard Digs, I got onto my smartphone and I started to edit this video to get it fully complete and done. Yep. And then after that, I'm doing what I'm doing now. Filming another video so that the vlog is totally complete and done. Well, I'm going to do another video right after this one. And what it's about, I'm not going to say. Thank you everyone for watching this vlog. And if you're not a YouTube subscriber yet, please become a YouTube subscriber. And goodbye now. Thank you.